Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to Apex Online Racing. This is Formula Rookie on the PS4 Tier 1. I am Jess, also known as Jess Games 95, and we're at round number 2 here at the Dubai Autodrome International. And joining me, as per usual, just like last week, it is Ethan. Hello, Ethan.
Hello, Jess. It's nice to be in the commentary box again. Getting sweated out, though, by the immense heat in the UK. It's very, very hot in the commentary box today.
Yeah, it is. It's not as hot as, obviously, where the drivers are going to be facing today. It's a shortened version, obviously, than the one we saw in the GT3 series. 12 turns at 4.3-kilometre circuit. Actually designed by Clive Bowen of Apex Circuit Design in December 2005. And it's hosted many FIA events, the Dubai 24-hour endurance race and many other national events using 4 different configurations. And due to the weather and obviously the progression as well we're going to face in the second race, the conditions are going to be very different race on race.
That certainly is the case, which is going to make it even more difficult for the drivers. Dubai, known for its scorching hot temperatures during the day, but it's freezing temperatures during the night like any desert. But yeah, Dubai International, it's a lot left to be desired for some drivers. Some love it, some absolutely despise it. I do quite like the full GP layout that's used in the Dubai 24 hours. It's quite a nice circuit, it's got a bit of everything. But today the drivers are tackling the international version, which is the longest circuit on the Formula Rookie calendar, just under a 1 minute 53 lap for most of these drivers, which seems like a decade in these cars, might I add. But this track should provide plenty of racing. But the most crucial thing, Jess, of course, once again, it's the slipstream. And Dubai has some really long straights, and if you fall out of touch that slipstream, you're going to fall a long way down the pack.
Yeah, definitely. There's only a few back straights. There's 4 turns for seeing the back straight. There's key turns to watch out for in some of these in this circuit. Turn 8, you got to make sure you take it as fast as possible. And turn 9 is quite tight as well, which we've seen quite a few people in practice do a few spins there. So hopefully we won't see many tonight. And we've got a few stewards inquiries after the last race. We've had one, most of them are from race 2. There was one where there was no further action, but there was one which involved Mr. Kawasaki and Big Kid Daddy. And the stewards decided to give Mr. Kawasaki a 20-second time penalty and 50 penalty points for causing a moderate collision and failing to wait, which it will put him to forfeit in race 2. He finished second provisionally, but it'll put him to 4th. So that means Big Kid Daddy will have finished second in the race, and Pren has got a first podium of the season. So that's really good to help. The standings haven't updated, that's why we're not showing it. But yeah, and the other incident Mr. Kawasaki was involved in was no further action. So yeah, not a good start to the season for him getting a lot of penalty points and him demoted a few positions.
Certainly, obviously, with how close the field is, I mean, you saw just how close it was at Oschersleben. Getting a 20-second penalty is really, really going to hamper your positioning in races. He finished, like I said, second and now got demoted 2 positions, and that's a handful of points just gone. So can't really be affording to be collecting all these large penalties for something silly like that as well. I guess he might not have seen them. I didn't really read into the steward's inquiry too much, but looking at the replay, it was a pretty hefty collision, so you can see why he got 20 seconds. But speaking of the man himself, he is actually sitting on pole position again. two attempts in front of Big Kid Daddy, who he actually collided with, who was getting a toe off his teammate there, of tennis there. But Mr. Gazowski putting his marker down is already in P1 in qualifying, but still with 9 minutes to go. So it's all to play for.
Yep, there is. We've got a full lobby, which is great to see. And earlier we spoke that obviously people go to the 53s. Pretty much everyone is almost in the 53s right now, with obviously Mr. Kawasaki in the 1 minute 50s. I think 1 minute 53s we'll probably most likely see in the race. And it's great to see the two teammates of Big Kid Daddy and his teammate working together as well. I think the toe's going to play more of a factor in particular in these long straights, and there's not many long straights obviously, but I think they're going to take a lot more advantage to help each other in qualifying, because it's not just about the drivers, it's about the constructors as well, and you want your team to do very well too, and I think Big Kid Daddy is one that is there for the team too.
That's certainly the case. You can see he's just sitting behind his teammate Tinnis, who's just pulling him along, and you can see he's making that crucial dividends there. He's about to go up for 2 attempts up, and look at the top there, as Kaiser's actually pipped Mr. Kozlowski to first place. But wow, actually Big Kid Daddy and Jazzman are tied for P3, so that's in 2 races, well in 2 rounds we've had drivers tying in position, and then in fact there goes Jazzman, Kaiser in front, getting all sorts of loose there. But you can see these teams, especially the more experienced, the more teams who are much more communicating with each other, working together to maximise the potential out of this circuit and car. And it's certainly paying off, but the question is just how much is it going to pay off, because these drivers are going to be pushing for every inch, every attempt's crucial here. So at the end, someone's going to do it overall, do it the best, and we're going to find that out soon in 8 minutes' time.
Yeah, obviously Kaiser and Jazzman obviously had a really good first race. Obviously they were at the top of the qualifying, and they obviously did well in the race, but in the second race they really messed up. They got involved in incidents, some of which weren't their fault. They had to pit for repairs, which costed them a lot of positions in the standings as well. So that demoted Jazzman to 9th, and obviously I think Kaiser was in 10th. So not many points for them in the second race, and but that still put them first in the standings, but only by 17 points. But imagine what the gap would have been if they would have done well in the second race. But I think they'll be taking the second race this time a little bit different, as someone I've just seen is locked up. Oh God, I think I've just jinxed someone again. So as soon as we talk about the slow motion ninja, someone spins. But yeah, so Leroy is faster at the moment, and obviously Kaiser will probably go for it towards the end. I think he won't go guns a-blazing just yet. He doesn't want to make the same mistake as last week.
No, certainly not. Kaiser and Jazzman have come under a lot of stick and under a lot of, not had a lot of luck in this type of format of racing. In every race too, and this is in Formula Renault as well, in the second races in Formula Renault and Formula Rookie, they have been getting such bad luck, getting caught up in incidents that they're not even directly at fault. They're just getting caught up in other people's mess, and it's really not helping them at all. I mean, on Monday's race 2 of Formula Renault, there was a humongous accident out of turn 1 at Spa, kind of reminiscent of 1998 when David Coulthard decided to plough into a barrier. It caused a massive chain reaction. Unfortunately, Jazzman and Kaiser, probably the second and third fastest people on that day, were caught out, and it stripped them of really good points. And it's the same that happened last week in Formula Rookie. So these guys just need some luck eventually, but I'm sure this time around they're going to get it. Someone else who needs a bit of luck, Jess. Poor old Evil Dragon scored 0 points last week, DNF'd both races, has now come under a bit of trouble with his pedal set. Apparently the throttle's been stuck on or something like that. Hopefully he's got it fixed. It looks like he has, because he's actually not doing too bad, P9. So his pace is getting up there. Jazzman's been pushing Evil to pick up his pace, get a lot better. Obviously, this being Tier 1, obviously Tier 1's the best of the best, and Evil's got to show his worth of being a Tier 1 driver, so he's got a bit of pressure now to show what he's really got, but I'm sure he's more than up to the challenge to prove what he's worth.
Yeah, I can actually explain what happened to his pedals. It was actually my pedals, because I originally had it. Basically, it's got a lot of dust in it, so yeah, it still has to clean the inside, obviously, so some of the input won't be the same. So if he goes at 100%, you can see sometimes he just lifts off the throttle a little bit, which is not good. And if we see him like someone going to the back of him, it's not his fault. It's just the pedal's fault. So yeah, he's found a way to fix it, but it's not perfect, obviously. But yeah, I think all we need to do is find some screwdrivers and some screws and get obviously the inside cleaned in the pedals, and he should be all right. But yeah, he was looking better than what he was in practice. So I guess he's getting more of a feel of the car. He's crossing a line now. Can he improve on his time? No, he doesn't. But he's 1.1 seconds off the pace. But that's much better compared to last week. Fozzie, meanwhile, is 1.5 seconds slower. He's a 1:52.1, and so is Retro as well. We got Tom in 13th, and we've got Pren, the only one yet to set a lap time, down in 16th place.
Yeah, Pren's still yet to set a lap, and I'm not surprised if he has been able to, running wide there constantly. But like you said, Jess, with your pedals, unfortunately, the Logitech pedal set, just it's the same for G29 and G920. Does seem to accumulate a lot of dust. I remember I had quite a severe issue with my brake potentiometer, would keep applying the brake during straights. And obviously, you don't want to be braking in the middle of a straight and then someone zooming up your rear. So that actually took me out of season 15 for a brief moment, because then everything just completely fell apart. But hopefully, Evil, like I say, got that issue sorted. Just needs to get in there and get it all cleaned out, because that dust and grime and all that stuff can easily clog up all the mechanical pieces in there and can really hamper the equipment, which obviously you don't want to happen in an event. Unfortunately, Evil has picked up a grid place penalty, so despite him being P11, he will be demoted a position. So in all essence, I think he's going to want to climb up as quickly as possible. He can gain about 2-3 places by just finding 4 temps. If he finds 5 temps, he'll be slap bang in the middle where Schwantz is, who is not on pace at the moment, despite being 6 temps. He's in the middle of the pack, but coming off a fresh win from last race, I'm sure he's going to be looking to cement that win and progress even more and get a podium or potentially another win. Jazzman, though, there's Jazzman, goes to P1. He's following his teammate again, so Kaiser doing the crucial role of just towing his teammate around, but they're both inside the top 5. Leroy, though, really impressive at the moment. In P3, he was at the back of the grids last week, and all of a sudden he's come rocketing through the field and has put himself right in the top spot where all the top guys race. So it's really good to see some of the newcomers really place themselves in the high-end positions and challenging these top guys.
I was speaking to a few drivers before the race, and quite a lot of people, in particular Evil and Leroy as well, prefer Dubai circuit, and they've been practicing a lot more on that circuit. Evil actually said to me this was the first track he practiced when he got the wheel, so that's why a lot of people are more comfortable with it, but probably due to the fact that they just like it so much that obviously they are better lap times. And I think it's not as close as obviously last week at the moment, but the top 12 are still separated by nearly 2 seconds, which is still pretty impressive. I don't think Jazzman's going out. I think he's out of the pits, but he's not going to have enough time to set another lap. I guess he just wants to get a feel for the car, but he's just left it a little bit too late there. But let's just hope for Jazzman's sake no one else improves, because otherwise he's not going to be on pole.
Now, this is a team tactic, Jess. He's come out slowly. He's coming to pick up his teammate Kaiser to do another lap. In fact, here's Kaiser now coming down the back straight. He's all by himself, so he's got no toe in front of him. I was going to call him Sinners. Kaiser's been given Jazzman a toe. It's now Jazzman's turn to help his teammate out and try and lock out the front row with these two. If these two can lock out the front row, then most likely, definitely going to pull away, because it's quite clear, Jess, these teams who are working together, they're really making it work with the slipstream. Unfortunately, Big Kid Daddy and Tinnis, despite still pulling each other along, they're still falling back a bit, and there's Jazzman actually getting on the way of these two. Despite being good friends with these guys, he's not going to give them any advantages whatsoever. But yeah, Kaiser's actually returned to the pit lane, so it looks like Jazzman's pulled out as well. So Kaiser's going to be starting 4th. Essa, though, in 5th. Wow, that's really impressive from him. Essa's been really consistent so far, despite obviously only having 2 races. He did finish really, really well in both of those races, finishing within inside the top 10, I believe. He definitely finished 6th, I think, in either the second race or the first race. Not 100%
First
sure,
race.
Either way, it's still incredibly consistent nonetheless, and only 4 temps off of Jazzman.
Yeah, I've been impressed as well. To be honest, I was a bit shocked. But in the second race, Ezra, I think, admitted to himself that he was a bit disappointed of his result, so he could have got better because obviously he had damage elsewhere as well. But I think Kawasaki, has got to remember that he's got to avoid the incidents and get less penalties and forget about what happened last week and concentrate on see if he could beat Jasmine. I think he's the only man that could beat Jasmine out of all the people in the field at the moment. Maybe Tinus as well down in 7th, or Big Kid Daddy potentially, but I think they're not going to have time to set another lap. But here comes Kawasaki across the line now. Is he going to find a few attempts to get on pole position? He only needs to find 3 attempts, and he does it. Pole position by 30,000 of a second. And Essa Racing, he's got a lap in as well. He's gone into 3rd place.
He's you know, Jazzman, I'm pretty sure he's used to enjoying the front spot, but these drivers are giving him a good push around, and they're like, you know what, we're not going to let you have these top positions. We want a bit as well, and that's what we like to see. We like to see these, you know, the guys who are usually in the midfield or unfortunately usually at the back, giving the front guys a good taste of their money, and it's really going to spice up the start of this first race. And Kaiser, the person I was expected to be on pole, in 5th, Big Kid Daddy in 6th, and a few drivers unfortunately falling off. Some of the faster drivers you were expecting from last race are not where you expect to be now, and it's Esther and Mr. Gazowski and Leroy as well. Those 3-4 drivers have absolutely blitzed qualifying and have taken the show to the top guys.
Yep, exactly. So Kawasaki gets pole by obviously 30,000 of a second, pretty close, with Jazzman in 2nd, Essa 3rd, Leroy 4th, Kaiser and Big Kid Daddy have got a lot of work to do in 5th and 6th. Not too bad qualifying from Danny Boy either. He's in 7th, only 7 attempts behind pole position. And we got Tinnis in 8th. Last week's race 2 winner, Schwantz in 9th. And our first podium sitter from last week, Pren in 10th. And then we got Kart, Evil Dragon in 12th, which is, I think, is his best qualifying. Obviously, because last race I think he started last, but now he's in 12th, so that's good to see. And it's Tom, Fozzie, Vetro, and Berno bringing up the rear of the grid. And don't forget, in the first race, it's a normal standing start like you get in Formula 1. So as soon as the 5 red lights go out, well, as soon as the 5 lights go out, then they can get racing. In the second race, it is an AOR rolling start. So should be very, very intriguing, but yeah, what are your thoughts going into this, Ethan? Who do you think is going to win race 1?
To that, look at what happened last race. We didn't know who was going to win. Obviously, the first race seemed to be more spread out than the second race. But I tell you what, Essa, if he gets a good start, I reckon he could slingshot that right up the middle. It all depends who's going to get the best start here. It's all about momentum off the start, trying to limit that wheel spin. Because these cars, they can bog down very easily. They don't have a lot of power, obviously, and they work best at high revs. And obviously, you don't want to bog down off the start because then you're going to get swamped by the rest of these guys. It's a nice wide track, so they're going to be darting around all over the place, I reckon, trying to gain as much positions as they can. But here we go. They're all syncing up, Jess. I'm going to give you the honours, since I did it last week, to start this race.
Thank you very much, Ethan. So the 5 red lights are coming on. Well, 4 red lights. And we are racing here in Dubai. Looks like Jazzman's got the upper hand this time as well, but Kawasaki is trying to fight back at him into turn 1 as well. Looks like everybody's getting a clean start. A few people have been dropping positions actually, which is not good, but well done to Jazzman for trying to cover off Kawasaki. He's got a nice run around the corner there, and Kawasaki's going to get the switch back potentially. This is a very tight corner, a huge opportunity for people to make mistakes, but looks like everyone's making it clean so far. Big Kid Daddy up a few positions as well. He's always gone off the circuit a bit though. Esther's dropped down to 4th. Oh, that was very close from Big Kid Daddy, but he's kept the car in control, and pretty decent start from everyone, I've got to say.
Pretty good start, but someone's falling down. It's Kaiser. Oh, he's in an absolute... There's cars everywhere. This is... Oh, God, come on, keep it clean, guys. Keep it clean. We've done quite well in that so far. Oh, they're all bunching up. This is where it's going to get very tight. Oh, there's a car popping up. Oh, no, someone's gone round. I think that's Vectro. It is Vectro who's been punted around, unfortunately. It was going to happen. There was cars everywhere, and that's Danny, who started in 7th all the way down in last after coming together with Vectro there, just kind of tagged that there were so many cars in one corner. There was something going to happen, and there's another car. That's Evil and Burno there who have come together. Unfortunately, we've just caught the ends of that, so we don't actually know who's at fault for that. Both Evil and Vectro, unfortunately, not getting the best of stars. Kaiser is dropped all the way down into 10th. Not a good start for him either. Has come back up into 3rd now. It is Jasmine who has got the initial start and jumped up to P1. Question is, can he pull away?
Yes, can he do it like he did in the first race last week where he could get a podium? But obviously, he's not relying on his teammate anymore, whereas I think Tinnis is going to help Big Kid Daddy and vice versa. But here comes Kawasaki again, doing a similar thing to what Jazzman did in the first lap then. Can he make it stick this time? And there's contact, huge contact. Oh my God, that's a flip and a half. And that was, I think, I didn't see who it was.
That's and Mr. Kozlowski. That's both of them. Mr. Kozlowski on top of the loophole there and reset his car. He is allowed to do that. He is allowed to reset his car. But they were both so close to each other. It was right at the top of the screen, so we couldn't actually see them until they both actually collided. But running way too close to each other, and Jazzman's not going to be impressed whatsoever after just coming off a rather disappointing race in Formula Renault with rather shoddy contact, and now he's come under it again in Formula Rookie, and it's Mr. Kozlowski who's come off worse with not much of a car left. To be honest, it looks like Jazzman's completely fine, you know. He looks like he's completely fine.
He has no damage.
If he does come in the pit lane, then he will definitely have damage. We can be assertive of that. Fuzzy and Dan both in the pit lane as well. Mr. Kozlowski almost certainly will be coming in the pit lane. But Jazzman running dandy, if he has not got damage from that, that is absolutely absurd and almost kind of broken because both cars should really both be damaged. And it looks like Jazzman's completely fine from that accident. But we'll eventually see the proof in the pudding if he does come in. But only into lap 2, and we've already had our humongous accident. It just seems these open wheel cars and project cars in general just seem to have really dodgy hitbox.
Yeah, and obviously the force feedback is way different compared to other cars as well. As yes, Jazzman has got damage, so he goes into the pits then. And I'm surprised Jazzman has come off less worse. And you can see the bodywork, I think, is a bit bad as well. So I'm not really that surprised, obviously. So what does that do to your order then? That means Essa, for the first time in a while, is leading a race. Now we've got Big Kid Daddy in 2nd and his teammate Tinnis in 3rd place. But Tinnis is, I think, a little bit further back to his teammates. He's not going to get the move. But surely Big Kid Daddy, I think, is going to get the jump on Essa because Big Kid Daddy is a lot faster compared to Essa. Only by, I think, a couple of hundredths of a second, though. So, you know, that Essa's doing very well. I'm not going to say too much about Essa because if I do, I'll probably jinx it. So, yeah, he's leading for now, but for how much longer? I do see someone making a move behind those two, though.
Brent looking up the inside of Tinnis. See, these drivers who are usually further back, they're not giving in. They are giving everything they have to these faster drivers. And, yeah, Big Kid Daddy, a very, very experienced veteran driver, as he decides to go full Tokyo Drift into one of the hairpins here at Dubai, losing all that momentum, and just that allows Essa just to pull that gap and break the toe, which is not going to be good for Big Kid Daddy if he wants to hang on to Essa. He needs that toe, and drifting into the hairpins is not the way to do it. Meanwhile, further back down, Pren is all over the back of Tinnis, not quite far enough alongside to throw up the inside. Obviously, you can't just send it up the inside and expect to make the move. These cars do not run any ABS, so if you just chuck up the inside, slam the brake on, both front wheels are going to lock up, and you're most likely going to find yourself rotating around and in the middle of the pack. But Pren set himself up quite good here out the exit on the final corner. If he can get a good run, he may stand a chance, but Tinnis has got that toe from his teammate, and look at the other cars behind him.
Yeah, Pren is looking really good as well. He could be on shot to get his 2nd podium in a row. His momentum in the last race, I think, is definitely helping him try and keep that podium, but you could see Tinnis is so much faster, and I think he's getting held up, Pren is, and I think that's going to help the likes of Kaiser, who has gone up to 5th as well. Schwartz in 6th place, and a quick reminder, they don't have to make a pit stop unless they've got damage, so that it is, I think it's a reminder that just don't get damaged, don't get involved in incidents, and you should be fine. I think for these cars, if you don't get damaged, you'll probably score some very good points, as Fran is going to try and get P3 back from Tinnis, and I think we got Kaiser trying to go for a move on Tinnis as well, so it's almost going to be a three-way fight here for the podium.
Exactly, but Tinnis not quite able to make that move stick, but Fran got the move done before even the braking zone. He sets himself up perfectly for the straight and got by with relative ease, but these guys were all lapping pretty close together. Literally, Esso's 51s, Big Kid Daddy 51.8s. Pren actually, Pren and Kaiser actually the fastest men on circuit. So these guys are really on it. Now he's looking to send up the inside. No, too far back, I think. In fact, oh no, he's actually made a bit of a mistake there. Gets on the curb, grounds himself out. Kaiser goes right up the inside. Oh no! Schwantz has got a tank slapper. Hit Tinnis. Tinnis is completely fine, but Schwantz has gone off in an absolute mayhem. Has he got damage?
No.
Doesn't look like it. How has Tinnis come off of that with no damage? That is so strange.
I think it's the coincidence of the Tinnis and Big Kid Daddy cars. If you get bodywork damage or some damage, you can still keep going. And I was speaking to Big Kid Daddy after the race, and he didn't get damage in the second race, so which was shocking. But anyway, here comes Kaiser then on Pren, and he gets a move done this time. And I think Pren's going to be under pressure from Tinnis now. I think Kaiser's just going to pull away from this lot now. I think Kaiser was being held up too much now, and he can now concentrate on trying to close in on Big Kid Daddy, of course. But I think Tinnis is going to be very worried, because obviously Leroy may be catching up soon. He's only got a few attempts to find Leroy until he's on the back of Tinnis.
Fred unfortunately has picked up a penalty as well, probably about 2 seconds possibly. We'll check if a move on the way. There's a bit of a lock-up from somewhere over front. Fred going missile style into the hairpin there. He's completely overshot it. Tinnis opens up the next corner coming along. Fren's compromised his exit. Now Tinnis on the right-hand side. He's got the move done. Is Pren going to send it back around the outside? He tries to. He's opened up the corner to get a better exit. Leroy's there in the background as well. These guys are all so close. But ultimately, Pren has fallen in another position. Still, Esther just 4 attempts ahead. Further down the field, we've got a battle between Evil and Burno. About 5 attempts there. These guys fighting nice and closely. In fact, there is Kart in front of Evil as well. So it's a three-way battle for 10th position. There's battles all throughout the circuit here.
Yeah, but all 16 cars in this race, of course. And obviously some people a little bit further away, because obviously Kozlowski and Dan having to pit for repairs, and Jazzman having to pit as well, but his pit stop wasn't too long because he had less damage, of course, and he's matching the pace already. The top guys almost a 151.7. Here comes Prem once again. Then I'm losing count of how many rounds this is, but let's see if Prem's next attempt is going to be easier for him. I think it looks a lot easier than him. I don't think he's going to be challenged a little bit. Maybe. I think Tinnis doesn't want to lose a position that easy, but I think he's got to make do for now. Pren stays in 4th place for now, and you can already see the gap between Kaiser and Pren. It's increased dramatically, I think, to around a second, or 2 seconds now. So it just shows that Kaiser's on it in these first races.
In the case, obviously, Pren's also battling Tinnis, so Kaiser definitely in his own little bubble. Big Kid Daddy and S are still closely together. Evil has got it in front of Kart, who is now under pressure. Kart looks like he's got the better exit, but Evil's dives to the inside to hold that position. Now he's got to be careful he doesn't outbrake himself here, because he's going to open himself up to the inside. Kart will have that inside if he's not careful. But Evil on his marks perfectly. Can he nail that exit? He certainly can. Kart's all the way over to the left. Oh, he takes a swipe on the inside there. Evil's run himself off the road there, so he's going to pick up a warning for that. But he seems to have that move secured. He has got a penalty though. Oh, Kart really sending it into there. Let's have a look at the penalties. So 1 second for Pren, which is going to be very crucial in that top 5 battle. Evil with 2 seconds, Kart with 3, and Fozzie with a 10-second penalty. That's speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, that's not good as well. And Ezra's still holding on to the lead, but meanwhile, we got Kart trying to make a move on Evil Dragon once again. And I think he gets the move done this time, but Evil's not going to let him have him that easy. And obviously, we've got Pren's teammate as well, fighting for P11 as well. He'll be 3 wide soon as well. It's nice to see these guys battling a bit more as well. Burno was near the front half in the second race. He finished 5th in the second race last time about, but he's not showing his worth in the first race. But obviously in the first race he didn't score well either, so maybe the second race he'll show his better form in longer endurance racing. He's taken a longer line, but surely it might be a mistake, or he's trying to cover off Eva a little bit. But a bit of a lock-up and a little bit of a slide there from Burno, but I think he's just got the car there, and I think he has to settle for 12th for now as he tries to hunt down the Evil Dragon once again. And the gap in front is just staying on that 2/10, 3/10 mark. Big Kid Daddy just can't get past Essa.
But yeah, here goes Big Kid Daddy up the inside of Essa. I think I may have just potentially lost you there, Jess. You were lagging out quite a bit there, unfortunately. I don't know if you're still there.
I'm still here. I'm still here. Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, Steve's Discord may have just had a bit of a slight malfunction there, but here we go. This is the battle we've been waiting for. Essa and Big Kid Daddy duking it out for P1. Big Kid Daddy temporarily holding position 1, but Essa's not letting him have it. He's holding on to it for dear life, and here comes Kaiser now. Kaiser's sniffing blood. He can smell it. He can smell a victory, because if these guys keep battling like they do, it could end in blows, and Kaiser could snatch up that position. But Big Kid Daddy sends it up the inside. Essa's going to get the cutback on the exit now and have the inside. He'll have the better momentum now. Now it's a drag race down to turn number 1.
Yep, it is as well, and Big Kid Daddy, I think it's easy going to get past, but you can see Kaiser as well. He may have a sniff of this P1 as well, I think, due to these two battling as well. So Essa could be on a chance to get his first podium, but he can't afford to make too many mistakes. If I was him, you can concentrate on holding on to your podium spot, but you're a racer at heart. You want to keep that win. You want to keep P1, but there are other chances for Essa, to potentially get that. And he's second for now, and he's got Kaiser right up his backside now. So here comes Kaiser on his right-hand side, and I think he's going to get the job done easily. But we know how Essa is trying to defend around here. He's doing good with his defensive, like we've seen earlier. And I think Kaiser just gets a better run. Yes, he does. So no, they switch positions like no tomorrow. That's just allowing Big Kid Daddy just to pull away and keep that lead.
Definitely got a lot of lag or something like that. Once again, that's unfortunately your microphone cut out, but Essa holding on for dear life now. He's holding on to P3. Does he want to throw away a podium though by battling too hard? I don't think he would want to, but he's not going to give up points. Every racer is going to want the maximum that you can get.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we've got obviously Kaiser. I think he wants to make sure he is leading the constructors as well. And if he obviously gets past these two, he's gonna have a good shot on obviously leading the championship pretty soon as well. Because obviously Kaiser's third in the standings right now. He could have been first if he had a much better result in the second race. So here comes Kaiser once again. Then he's 2/10 down on his previous best, but he's looking even quicker last lap. Compared to some of the other guys as well. The top 4 pretty much really close as well. Big Kid Daddy, I think, has lost his advantage now to Essa. Essa's going to have a go again. Oh, my goodness. This is nail-biting stuff. I just hope they don't get damaged, because I always get worried for those 3, especially the guy that usually is not up fighting for the win. He's still fighting there as well. And obviously we've got Tinnis and Pren fighting for P4 as well. I mean, I think the big guns are just not doing well, whereas the ones which you don't expect to do well are just showing how good they are in these cars. Maybe because they probably put the most practice in. We'll have to wait and see, as I think this is just going to be a nail-biting 4 minutes to the end. And I think this battle, Ethan, is going to go on until the end of this race. I can tell you that.
It definitely is going to go on to the end, yeah. These guys are using all the track that's possible, extending their lines, taking a wider line so they can get on the power earlier, making cutbacks, compromising their lines. They're trying their best. And ultimately, someone's going to come out on top, but Kaiser's kind of dropped off a little bit now. It looks like he's just going to wait and see what happens with Big Daddy. Yeah, Big Daddy seems to be just dropping a little bit again. Essa is definitely pushing his hardest as Mr. Gzowski sets the fastest lap of the race with a 50.2. So you can see Mr. Gzowski, despite being further down, is definitely lighting up the track. But here comes Kaiser again. He looks like to be setting up Essa for P number 2. Can he get that second position? Essa just using a little bit more of the track. Kaiser's got the toe though, so is Essa. It's going to be a drag race again. I don't think Kaiser's close enough, you know.
No, I don't think he is as well, but maybe he's going to benefit from the toe though in these final few laps. I think this could work well for the likes of Essa, but I think for Kaiser, I think the win maybe just a little bit further fetched, because obviously we've got the top 2 fighting, and obviously we've got Kaiser fighting as well, and I think he's just worried he's not going to get past them, and he doesn't want to get damaged like he did in the second race. So I think he's taking it easy, but I think he's going to go full guns a-blazing in the 40-minute race, because obviously you have more positions to gain and potentially more positions to lose, because obviously it's a longer race. So I think Kaiser's just taking it steady for now. Meanwhile, I think Kaiser's been left an opportunity to get the move on Essa, but nope, he's not going to do it this time. This is nail-biting stuff as well. And also we've got a battle for between Evil and Kart still going on as well. They're fighting for 10th place as well. So this is all coming up on the final few laps. And I do believe we lost one driver. We're down to 15 runners, I believe. So I don't know who's retired. I think it might be Kozowski, actually.
Yeah, Mr. Kozowski's retired. Unfortunately, he sets the fastest lap and then decides to pull out. It's unfortunate. Could have snatched up some points there, but decides to back out of it. And like I said, just Burno and Evil battling out. Actually, there's a top 3 battle. There's battles going on everywhere, but I think we're just going to focus our attention on the more crucial battle as we're now heading on to the final lap. Now, this is the penultimate lap. Next lap will be the final lap. So it's now Essa who is actually leading. So I think just while we've changed for a brief moment, Essa's actually snatched the lead. Now it's all guns out. It's all out now. There's no backing off. There's no mercy. Someone's going to extend it here for the final few points in this final lap. And it's Kaiser who is setting up Big Kid Daddy up. Essa's going to try and pull away as much as possible. But Big Kid Daddy defending a little bit, trying to suss out Essa, but Essa's not having any of it. This is going to be nail-biting, this.
If Essa wins this, I think this is going to go down in history. Probably the most biggest upset I've seen in a while. Someone that we weren't expecting to take the win. But he had a good qualifying and he would have gained 2 positions. But it's not over, obviously, until the checker flag. But you can see Kaiser and Big Kid Daddy fighting. Essa's going to hope these 2 keep fighting because he'll be able to pull away. But here comes Kaiser once again. It looked like he was going to do a double overtake there. Oh, both of them making a little bit of a mistake there. I think Kaiser almost had the run on Essa too. But I think he's got 1 position done. But he's got to make 1 more, and that's for the race win. And this could be his chance as he takes off, as I think Big Kid Daddy gets him again. I think the top 3 is so even on pace, we can't call it. I asked Ethan for predictions, and I wasn't predicting this top 3, I've got to say. I was predicting Kiter in the top 3, obviously Jazzman as well, but definitely not. Oh my goodness, how are they keeping it on the road? This is nail-biting stuff. Who's going to win this race? Let us know in the chat who you want to win this race and who you think is going to win this race. And we got a few more corners to go. Essa is just going to hope he doesn't make a mistake now. Big Kid Daddy is going to hope he's going to make... it might be a photo finish, but I don't think Big Kid Daddy's going to go for it. Kaiser might go for it, but it is Essa who wins his first race in the top tier. Absolutely amazing stuff. Big Kid Daddy in second, his second podium in a row. We've got Kaiser in third, and we got Tinnis in fourth. Good result for him. We've got Leroy in fifth, Pren in sixth, and we've got Schwartz in seventh. Vetro having a good result as well in eighth, and then we got Tom in ninth. And we got Kart and Evil having a battle, and I think due to penalties, that pushes Evil down to 11th. But for the first time this season, Evil Dragon has finished, and he's not last. So I think he'll take that.
He certainly will. 11th, not bad, but holy moly, that finish. That was so close. Anybody could have won that, but they kept it clean. As Kaiser, he's decided to mount somebody or get mounted by somebody. Let's keep it PG, lads. But Kaiser, Esso, Big Kid Daddy just showing what's possible in AO1 with these cars. You know, it just proves open wheels can be raced despite what's gone on in this race with Mr. Kozelski's and Jazzman's humongous accident. It is possible you can race with these cars. And I gotta say, I haven't seen racing like that in ages. It was literally like a kart race. And just if you just gave an ounce of track width on the inside, someone was going to have it. If you compromised your line, someone was going to get that better momentum. It was consistently people overtaking each other corner after corner, but it was ultimately Essa who prevailed on top in first place. In the top three, only covered by 2 tenths.
Wow, that is amazing. Well done to the top 3, of course, and that will mean Essa will be starting in 8th place. Big Kid Daddy will be starting 7th in the second race. We got Kaiser in 3rd. Will be starting 6th. Then we got Tinnis in 4th. Leroy 5th. Pren in 6th. Schwartz in 7th. And Vetro will be starting the second race in pole position. So the top 8 will be reversed. And then everyone else will be starting, obviously, in their positions they are now. So we've got Tom in 9th. Burner in 10th. Evil Dragon 11th. Then we got Kart. Jazzman. He wouldn't want this result after he had a incident with Mr. Kozelski, but there we go. Fozzie in 14th, and then we got Danny in 15th, and Mr. Kozelski, the only driver to retire, and he only made 4 laps, so I think we missed that retirement there. I think we were just concentrating so much on the battles in the midfield and up front, we didn't notice Kozelski's retirement there, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the next race. It's a 40-minute race, but they got a lot more time to think about their starts this time. Let's hope, Ethan, it's a lot cleaner than the second race last week.
Hopefully that will be the case. But wow, I gotta say that was probably one of the better races for open wheel cars. Despite that, obviously big accident, these guys really just showed off what is possible. There was battles going on everywhere. It's just so hard to keep track of. But ultimately, I think the most important battle was this top 3 battle. Of course, we want to try and cover it as much as possible of each and everyone's race, but wow, that is probably one of the best races I've seen. Let's just hope it does carry over into that 40-minute race, where now is the question whether people are going to be chilling out or going all guns out. And Kaiser actually sets a 49.9 for the fastest lap of the race. I don't think anybody else will be setting that lap again in this entire evening. Now I think that would be the fastest lap,
and he gets a point. And he gets a point for that.
Exactly, so very crucial there. That does just prove how crucial the toe is here.
Yeah, and obviously I think we're waiting for the lobby to reset itself so we can actually get set up for the 40-minute race, of course. But yeah, lots of things happened that race. And we got Mr. Foggy in the chat. Hello, Foggy. And he wanted his teammate, Essa Racing, to do well. And I think his positive jinx helped him a little bit there. So I think Foggy will be a little bit happy with that as well. Obviously, Foggy not racing in this league, but he's a regular GT3 racer as well. And it's glad to see, obviously, if him supporting everyone else, of course. But I don't know who's going to win the next race either. We've seen how open it is the first race. Obviously, these cars are a different beast. But with Kaiser's 149, that would have been enough to get pole in the first race. But you know, Kaiser having a good comeback after a miserable start. So, you know, it just shows anything's possible around here, around Dubai, obviously.
So in the case, obviously, just the biggest upset is just what would that race have been like if Mr. Kozelski and Jazzman were still at the front and didn't come together? Because honestly, I think that could have been a totally different story, potentially. That's just how racing works, you know. Sometimes the biggest accidents can cause some of the craziest finishes. I mean, just look at Brazil, what that created in F1, you know. Max Verstappen took a brilliant win. Albon nearly got a P3. It was ultimately Sainz who managed to come through and get 4th, but then got promoted to P3, you know. That's just how racing works. Sometimes, you know, I'm gobsmacked. I haven't really got many words for that, but honestly, I think Jasmine and Mr. Kozlowski are ones to watch out for in this second race, because they could certainly come through the field and spoil things up front if they manage to keep their noses clean.
Yep, indeed. Maybe some of these guys, they wanted to take it easy in the first race so they can get good points in the second race. The points are even each race. It's not like you get more points in the 40-minute race and less points in the 20-minute race. You get pretty much the same amount of points in each race. So, to be honest, you've got to score consistent in each race to stand a chance of actually leading or even getting a good position in the championship. Because obviously, there are 8 races in total out of the 4 rounds, and we've already had 3 out of the 8 races. So, this could potentially be probably the closest filler lead we're going to probably see in a while. And due to evil finishing, that means everybody has come off the mark, and everyone has scored some points in this league so far. So no one's going to be nil point at the end of the season, so that's good news. But if you finish, you score points anyway, and that's good to see. And and it's going to be a different kettle of fish as well, because it's going to be a different time of day, of course. It's going to start at 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's going to transfer into twilight, so it's going to be really dark towards the end of the race, and that could provide a different experience for the drivers, and also the temperatures will be a bit different.
Yeah, certainly the case, starting at 6 o'clock with a 2 times progression, so we'll finish at 8 in the evening. So the track temperatures are certainly going to change dramatically, which could cause a lot of tire temperature issues. Obviously, being a stock setup, you're just going to have to put up with what happens on track. Got the grid for the feature race, so Vectra will be starting in pole position. So Vectra could be the dark horse in this. If he just manages to keep the pace up and keep clean, he will hopefully do quite well. And then Schwantz in second, Pren in third, Leroy in fourth, Tinnis in fifth. Definitely another one to watch out for in that. Kaiser in sixth, Big Kid Daddy in eighth, seventh even, Esser in eighth. So those 3 all starting in the back of the reverse grid. Definitely ones to watch out for again. Tomji in ninth, Berno in 10th, Evil in 11th, Kart in 12th, Jazzman in 13th. Definitely another person to watch out for coming through the field if he keeps his nose clean. Fozzie in 14th, Dan in 15th for Mr. Kozlowski. Again, another fast driver starting at the back of the grid, could potentially grab some crucial points here if he has a good clean race.
Yep, so a lot of drivers to watch out for, obviously, is everyone pretty much has got a point to prove, obviously. If you score well in the first race, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to score well in the second race. Look at Jazzman and Kiter in the second race last week, for instance. Let's hope the second race curse doesn't happen for our top 3 in the first race today. I mean, they've got to make sure that they've take it at a similar approach as it did in the first race. They've still got to fight for the win, of course, but you don't want to be involved in incidents which could cause penalties, obviously. And I think I've got to say, if Big Kid Daddy keeps up his consistency, he could score well as well. Obviously, he's his second podium. He scored 5th in the first race last week as well. So I think he hasn't scored lower than 5th place at the moment, so he could be up there as well. So I think those are the other people to watch out for as well. So obviously we're just waiting for the lobby to set up, of course. And another thing to point out as well, due to these hot temperatures in real life, of course, it must be really hard for these guys to drive. You experienced it on Monday with the Formula Renault League as well, when it was scorching hot temperatures, but definitely not as hot as what the drivers are experiencing tonight in their rooms.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, I'm just sitting here commentating, and I've got to say I'm quite hot and sticky. It's not pleasant whatsoever. Did a few laps on ACC earlier, and I've got to say it was not fun. Unfortunately, my room is the hottest in the building, or in my house, so I am being cooked to a kipper. Someone else who is probably boiling is Jazzman. He's not impressed with Mr. Kozlowski's actions on the front straightaway, claiming that Mr. Kozlowski turned into him. Well, I guess we'll have to see in the steward's inquiry. Jazzman calling out Mr. Kozlowski for apparently turning into him, saying there was enough track, but I guess it goes both ways. There's enough track for both of them. It's all about both of them keeping each other clean, and unfortunately sometimes, accidents can happen, but looks like those two will be going to the stewards for after what happened in that massive accident. But we are starting now apparently, so we'll see everyone getting into their formation very, very soon.
They won't be in the grid order when they load into the lobby, of course, so they'll have to let people through to start a lap, and it's 1 lap formation, and they'll start in single file, obviously, and then they'll go to 2x2 formation as they head towards the end of the lap, obviously, as well, to obviously let the guys through. And Vetra hasn't started many positions on pole, but there's some races like this, reverse grids, where he hasn't done as well, and there's some races he has done as well, and for him it depends on the track, but he scored some good points in the first race, so he's looking to be consistent in the next race as well. It must be a different feat starting on pole, where you're used to starting, say, 9th or 10th, or even down the bottom as well. I found it quite difficult when I was racing last week in random grids in F1. I had to start on pole. It must be huge pressure if you're not used to starting there, but sometimes the pressure could get to you. Just pretend that you're fighting for people in the midfield, and then you should be all right. But yeah, that's what these guys are going to do. So I think we're about to load in. Yes, we are. So obviously the conditions will be different. Everyone will approach it, the conditions differently, but they're racing. They've got to approach the same. And Mr. Kozlowski, I've got to say, if he has another incident in the second race, then the stewards are not going to be happy. He's already got 15 penalty points. If the stewards found Mr. Kozlowski to be at fault, he could be out of the lead before it even ends. And that's not what you want to see.
No, certainly not. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Well, hard to see what actually happened, because all the graphics were in the way. They're at the top of my TV screen, so I couldn't actually see what happened. But it's like I said, the front straight is so wide. There's no need to be running that close to each other, and it's very easy to say, "Oh, he took me out, this, that, and the other." But both drivers are responsible for how they conduct themselves on track. If Mr. Kozlowski did turn into Jazzman, then obviously Mr. Kozlowski will receive the necessary penalty. But also Jazzman could have been a lot more careful. He knows what open wheel cars are like, coming from Formula Renault. He's saying everyone should be careful. Everyone should be careful, of course, but it goes both ways. So Mr. Kozlowski definitely got to get his act together and stop getting into incidents. That's certainly the case if he wants to get some points. But here we go. The lights are on, and drivers are going to start putting themselves in formation. Like you said, Jess, Vetro's starting on pole position. He has said previously that he does get under a lot of pressure sometimes, and starting on pole position in front of a crowd on stream, he's got all the eyes watching him. So if he wants a good start, he's going to have to really knuckle down and just completely forget that he's being watched and just try his best.
Yeah, starting on pole in the first race is a lot different than starting in the second race, of course. You've got a lot more time to think about it in the second race, where in the first race you've got to think, right, once the lights are gone, then go. That's where you've got to think about the start as well. But Vetro sets the pace of the formation. Now, obviously, you've got to go at the AOR speed limit, but as soon as you head the acceleration zone, Vetro controls the pace from then on. He could decide when he gets to floor it, and then if he decides at the wrong time, he's going to have people which are really close to him, and they're going to have much better starts as well. So, that's another thing to think about as well, that you got to think about your start ahead of time. You got to think, when is the best time to get advantage over your competitors as well, because otherwise you're going to hold up the field massively, and it could cause them a bit of a accident as well. So so we've got Vetra at front, and we've got Pren obviously at the back. I don't know, I think Pren was meant, Pren, I thought Mr. Kozlowski was meant to start at the back, but my bad. I thought, but I think Pren still needs to get into third place. I believe he's on the grid, but yeah.
Sure why he is actually started there. Pretty sure he is meant to be in third position. Let me just double check.
He is.
He is.
Mate.
Okay, well.
He could be having issues.
Yeah, potentially. So obviously, looks like he's just going to have to get on with it, I suppose. But it does promote Mr. Kozlowski up a position, so that's one less car to deal with. But they're starting to come into formation pretty soon. Already can see that twilight. It's that really lovely sunset that you get at Abu Dhabi at the end of a Formula 1 season. So literally reminiscent of that race, which is nice to see. Fortunately, the car's not quite as flamboyant and fast as what is in Formula 1, but still, it looked pretty neat in the twilight dusk at Dubai. But here we go. The drivers start forming up now and maintaining that 70. Well, I think it's 80 kilometers now. I'm not too sure. But Vectro just bunching them up a little bit to make sure everyone is together. Some drivers are going to be a little bit further to the left or right, trying to position their cars in a way so they're not going to get caught up in anything. But it's Vectro who's ultimately going to put the hammer down. He can decide when he wants to go. He can leave it at the very latest it can be, or he can go instantly in the acceleration zone. But he looks like he's leaving it late. Yeah, he certainly is. Now he goes. So it is Vectro who leads away, and the rest of the field trundling along behind him. But it's nearly 3 wide there, Jess. But it looks like it's all clean so far. Hopefully we're not going to have any more contact.
I think we're going to see, more opportunities, in the next couple of corners as well. That's going to be the hardest corners on the circuit as well. Very tight corner, and let's see if they make it through cleanly in those corners, but looks like everyone has as well. We've got Tinnis, who's in 4th for the moment. He stays 4th for the moment. Essa has made up a position. He's up into 7th place, so he's had a good start. Big Kid Daddy's made 1 position as well. He's up to 6th as well, so the top 2 from the first race is showing why they're setting the pace overall. Mr. Kozlowski up a few positions too. I think a few people have dropped positions, but it's still Vectro that leads. A 5-10 gap between him and Leroy. So,
Jazz,
no, not again.
Together again. Come on, guys. This isn't on. That I've got to say, these two. That is a direct result of last race there, Jess. Obviously, some sort of revenge going on there. And that's not on. You don't want to see that, or do you?
No, you don't. I mean, usually revenge is worse than actually doing the incident itself. And I think their negative mindsets from the first race just, I think, didn't help them a little bit. You got to concentrate on the race in hand. You can't have the first race in your mind. You got to focus on this race and this race now. And looks like Jazzman's giving up by the looks of things.
He is. The question is, though, was he far enough alongside? From that camera angle, it didn't look like it. I could be incorrect, but that was just silly. That isn't on by those two.
Yeah, he's out.
He does retire there. That wasn't on. I could see him having a bit of a chat with Mr. Kozlowski at the end of that. Whether Jazzman's alongside or not is yet to be seen, but that's not. Let's just ignore that. Further up front, Big Kid Daddy following along behind Kaiser and Tinnis. Schwantz, meanwhile, into 3rd. Vectro starting to crumple under the pressure. Has already dropped from 1st behind Leroy, and now Tinnis is looking up the inside of Schwantz. Just the curve a little bit. Can he get the better X out of this corner if he opens it up a little bit? No, he's opened it up to the Kaiser behind him, and now Kaiser's going to get 2 in 1, killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. Tinnis has got nowhere to go. He's stuck behind Schwantz, and Kaiser's just blasting past these guys, just waving along, saying, yeah, I'll have those 2 positions, thank you very much. Now he's going after the top 2.
Yep, indeed. Obviously, he finished 3rd in the last race, and he's already back up to 3rd in this race as well. So, brilliant stuff from him, climbing up to where he was in the field, and obviously now in the 3rd position again. So, well done to him, and yeah, I think...
Not on there.
No, but it's not. I don't think you're meant to do that. I think you're meant to stay in the session, and yeah, I think a few words will be said there from the stewards, of course. But yeah, Kaiser, he's not having the second race blues at the moment, but he's got to keep up the pace, as Kaiser might... oh, there's a bit of tap from him and Vectro, but I think he's going back on Vectro a little bit, I think a bit more. So let's see if Kaiser can get him again. Kaiser is obviously a lot faster. We can see Vectro's teammate Evil fighting with Tom. Tom has got past Evil, and now Evil's got past Tom again. So they're still fighting for position. Evil started 11th, and now he's up to 8th. So good start from him, and I think he's getting used to this car a little bit more as well, and getting used to not applying full throttle pressure, because otherwise he'll probably go into people. So yeah, brilliant start from him, and I think Essa still in 7th place, but it is a long race. You don't want to make too much positions too much. As long as you stay within the pace of most of the cars, you should be absolutely fine. As I think Leroy now is going to hunt Vectro for his dear life. But it looks like Vectro's going for the move again. This lead could not be over for Kaiser. Vectro could somehow take this lead here in lap 4 of this race. But you know, it's nice to see Vetro still picking up the pace a little bit, but it may be a while before Kiter and the likes of Kiter and Big Kid Daddy, they may pull fastest laps again, but they're on, their fuel is pretty much on 26.1 compared to the amount they were in the first race. As we've had a contact, we see someone spun. Schwantz in 11th. He's not having a good race so far, and that's Pren, isn't it? Pren and
I'm trying to find the driver.
That's Pren and Danny, I think.
Yeah, Schwantz has got suspension damage there. Look how much he's crabbing. Oh my lord. That's immense damage. That's probably... Oh dear.
That's not good for Schwantz.
No, not good at all. The slightest bit of contact by the looks of it, potentially. And look how much damage it creates. Yeah, Jazzman gets into a flip with some drivers and nearly gets away scot-free. Meanwhile, Evil up into 7th, challenging Tinus. So Evil's just come alive in this second race. Perhaps he's been practicing a lot more in this. Perhaps feels a lot more comfortable in these conditions. He's been doing a lot of practice, been telling me how he's been getting plenty of laps in. I think the last time I spoke to him was over 50, 60 laps, so he's been piling in the laps. And here we go, he's going for the move for 7th. He's well on it. Actually lapping faster than Tinnis. So like I said, it does seem that Evil is much more comfortable here and moves up into 6th place. Question is, can he hold on to it? Tinnis, not a driver who is likely to back down. Yeah, Tinnis is there. Evil left the door open for him. Evil just kind of allowing Tinnis to retake that position. Seems Evil is just a little bit too hesitant to battle hard. Is he going to send it back up the inside? No, he's not. So Evil, unfortunately, just handed the position back to Tinnis there, being too complacent. Actually cuts the corner there, careful not to pick up a penalty, because if he does, he's going to potentially lose a lot of positions. Meanwhile, Fozzie and Cart paddling down the back straight.
Fozzie obviously starting lower down. Now he's up into P as well. So the guys starting at the back of the grid, I think, is really benefited from, and they've avoided the carnage up front as well. And looks like Fozzie is going to retain P8 for now, but you know Cart likes to battle hard. He was battling really well with Evil in the first race as well, and in the chat it looks like they said the battle was good as well. And obviously some of the battle we couldn't catch on in stream because obviously we were following the battle for the lead as well. And whilst we were following that battle, Vetro's got the lead again.
Well, he certainly has. So yeah, Kaiser, he's trying his best. Here comes Leroy from a mile away. Is he going to sit there? He's going to brake a little bit harder. I think he realised, yeah, that move may have resulted in an accident. Look at these guys. That's the top 7. Yeah, top 7, all within 2 seconds there. This is insane. So it seems the second race, the longest race, provides more action. So now we've got the top 7. Oh, Evil! Rear end there. He may need to lift off there. He may pick up a penalty. He's going to start crumbling under pressure if he starts pushing the car too hard. It's very easy to push too hard, overdrive the car and make a mistake, but holy moly, that's a lot of Formula Rookie right there. 7 cars all within a close vicinity. Can it end well? Let's hope it does. But this is anybody's win this now, and we're only just over 10 minutes in.
That's why I haven't predicted, Ethan, the results for the second race, because I know I'm probably going to jinx people or not have my predictions completely wrong. This is just incredible. Obviously, the first race we saw Essa win. The second race, we're seeing the top 7 covered by such a small margin as well. And obviously, we got P8, 9, 10, and 11 fighting hard too. So they're all having their battles as we've got Big Kid Daddy. He's going to try and make the move on Kiter. It's going to be 3 wide almost as Vetro goes wide. But he still holds on to the lead. Only just, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it well, of course. Big Kid Daddy's also going to have help from his teammate as well. So the tow is going to be really useful here as well. We've got Leroy as well. And Essa joining in the fun. This is just incredible to see that they're keeping it clean up front. Obviously, Evil Dragon is fighting with Essa at the moment in this back straight. I think Evil, may concede a little bit. I think he's more inclined to make the move on the straights more than the corners, but he's probably going to have a go potentially around here. Oh, this is Vetro's having a move actually, not Evil. But yeah, Evil was trying to go for a move, and Vetro's teammate is doing a move as well. You know, they're last in the standings. They're going to try and not be last in the standings after tonight, but I think other teams are having other problems, so that this could happen. We'll have to wait and see. As we're starting lap 5, and they're still pretty close. They're all even on pace. The fastest lap so far, you just can't call it at the moment. Kaiser is going to launch for a move. I think Big Kid Daddy could try on the right-hand side. My, oh my, this is not how you take turn 1 3 wide. One of them has to back down. Oh, Big Kid Daddy, I think, is going to challenge. Big Kid Daddy's going to get the lead. Vectra's going to lose 3 positions at this rate. And,
insane, Jess.
Oh, this is insane.
I don't know where to put the camera. I honestly don't know. There's just so many cars everywhere. Oh no, there goes. That's Kaiser. I think that's Kaiser. I can't catch up. There he is.
Oh no.
There goes Kaiser. He's definitely been tagged, I think, there. There's just so many cars all over the place. I think he almost definitely got tagged, and now Vectra is being swamped by him. Here comes Evil. All the way up into P3, did he? Where is he? Where's Evil? He's in first place. Evil's taken the lead. He's gone deep. Oh my god, there's cars everywhere. But Evil, oh my god, he's leading a race. Evil, there goes Esther. Esther and, is that Esther and Tinnis? Yes, Esther and Tinnis have come together and are stuck on each other. But Evil Dragon XXL, in his fourth race, on a wheel, is leading a race in the twilight of Dubai. Probably this is the showdown of the century, the showdown in the twilight of Dubai. This Big Kid Daddy looking to size up Evil now. Evil is definitely out of his comfort zone. But you know where I said, Jess, Evil's looking to prove his worth in Tier 1. Well, he is certainly doing so. And my oh my, he's doing an absolutely brilliant job at doing so. Even Vectro, both of these drivers who are usually, you know, criticise themselves very easily, they are taking the pressure and are showing up the big guys. As Evil runs wide after defending against Big Kid Daddy, he's going to show himself up now to the back guys here. This is insane. Absolutely insane.
Kaiser's coming back.
Kaiser. Oh, wide.
Oh my god. One, if not two, has got to back out here. Otherwise, it could be a monumental shunt. I think Evil has realised that he's going to be one of them. He's in fourth for now, but still, he's led a lap of the race. I can't even do that in Project Cars 2, so he's already won against me in that front. But yeah, he's doing well. Vetro's gone back into second as well. Kaiser in the lead now.
He was just 7th a second ago, and now he's back in the lead. That's just how crazy this is. He was literally just 7th last lap at that point. Now he's back in the lead. Here comes Big Kid Daddy up the inside of Vectro potentially. Whoa, is he going to do it? Looks like he is. Now Evil's going to come up the inside of his teammate. No, he's not. Looks like he's hanging back now. He's got to watch out for Leroy. Kaiser's now under pressure. Kaiser potentially under pressure from Big Kid Daddy or Vectro. Big Kid Daddy on the inside of Vectro. Oh, this is just insane, this. Evil's got to be careful he doesn't collide with his teammate. Vectro now with the better exit, potentially. Evil with an even stronger exit. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Now Leroy and Fozzie are now joining in the fun. This is an absolute party.
Oh my god.
One thing, they're not obeying the 2-meter rule. Come on, guys. Go on. Oh no, Evil's collided. Or was that Vectro? I think it was Vectro. I apologise. It's not Evil, it was Vectro.
Oh, Vetro's now down into 5th. He was running so well. He was leading the race. He can't hold on to the lead for like 4 or 5 laps. And he went down to 7th. Now he was fighting for the lead again, and now he's in 5th. But there's still a long way to go. We're almost halfway into this race. And Leroy's going to fight Vectro now. Leroy out of all people as well. Leroy having a stonking start. And he's going to possibly fight for the podium as well. So, you know, we could see a few more upsets in this race. This is insane. As we could see Evil losing a bit of ground as well to Big Kid Leroy soon as well. But he's got the move done, I think. Back into 3rd. And he could challenge Big Kid Daddy for 2nd. My, oh my. I think he's liking this track. I think it's one of his favourite tracks on the calendar. Like he said to me earlier, and I was watching a bit of his practice earlier on today, well, just before the broadcast, and there was some corners he was struggling, but he's not struggling that much at the moment. I'm trying not to jinx him as much as he can, but this is it. He's got to defend.
Oh, he's gone deep. Oh my god, how has he held on to that? How has he held on to that?
Evil's now down into 5th now, and Big Kid Daddy's up into 2nd.
No, he did bring that upon himself. I think he just got a bit too audacious there, a little bit too I think he was just a bit too high up on himself there, and he's cost himself big time, and he's now just... Oh, yeah. That's not what you want to see, and that's going to be big damage. Yeah, Evil's now got damage, and I think that might be it. Now, was Mr. Kozlowski far enough alongside? I don't know. Was that Carl or Mr. Kozlowski? It was one of the two. I can't tell who's got the damage or not.
We'll have to wait and see, obviously. Oh, yeah, Evil's out. No, someone's out of the race. Someone's out of the race.
Yes, Jazzman.
Oh, yeah, it's Jazzman. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Evil's got damage. You can tell by the way he's driving the car.
That car is unfortunately a write-off, and he is going to be absolutely furious with that. You can tell he's not impressed whatsoever.
It's not his fault.
Chill out.
It's not his
He's
fault.
just got to chill out a little bit. If he's still got a chance to salvage some points, but he's not going to be impressed. But driving like that's not going to help. And I think he's, I can't be too.
Yeah, he's out of the race.
Either Mr. Kozlowski or Kart, the perpetrator of that retirement there, where they. I can't say.
It was hard to see for that camera angle who's at fault there.
Either way, I don't think they were far enough alongside there for whoever it was trying to grab the inside of Evil, and it has just resulted in probably Evil's best result in AOR being stripped away just like that.
He was performing so well. I think you'll take the fact that he was doing some good battles. Meanwhile, Big Kid Daddy for the lead of the race, and he gets a move done on the Kaiser, and yep, he's done it. Big Kid Daddy's in the race lead by only 2 tenths. Leroy's still in this as well, and I think Evil's job now is to help his teammate Vetra, who still potentially could be on for a podium position. Essa could be still on for a podium. Literally the top 6, actually no, top 5 could be potentially on for a podium. No, it's not Essa, it's Fozzie actually. So, you know, Essa doing well in the first race and his teammate doing well in the second race. And Kaiser gets the lead again. They're switched positions lap after lap at the moment. This could go on until the end, and you can see Vetra is hungry to go for the move. I think he's a bit more hungry to go for moves, because obviously he's more experienced racing in these AOR leagues. He's obviously racing the GT3s as well. And yeah, I think Kaiser holds on, but for how much longer? Just look at the difference between Big Kid Daddy and Kaiser's lap time. Only a 10th. So, not even that. It's almost a few... this is nail-biting stuff, as Big Kid Daddy's going to go for a lunge once again. Vetro could have gone for the move there, but I think he doesn't want to take any risk, which is fair enough. Because obviously it is going to be 3 wide. Vetro's going to try and go for a lunge. He's going to get a better run into turns 1 and 2. Is he going to get the lead once again? Oh, this is... No, this is really, really tight from Vetro. Oh, a little bit of a touch from Big Kid Daddy, but obviously both of these two respecting each other a lot. Obviously, both of them have raced each other before and had some great battles in the past. So Vetro's almost in the lead again. He could go for another lunge into, can't remember what turn it is, but I think Big Kid Daddy is more known for the defending. Kaiser's going to defend as attack as well.
3-1.
So Vetro is going to be in a little bit more pressure. I think he's following our advice, obviously, to not be involved in too many things, to just concentrate on the race in hand. And I think, judging by the rate he's racing like he's in the midfield. So, you know, he must be watching the stream somehow, Ethan.
Honestly, Vetro is doing so well. Just want to let you know, we're only just gotten past the halfway mark.
It's gone so quickly. It's gone so quickly.
We've only done about 22 minutes, and we've still got another 22 minutes, another 18 and a half minutes of glorious battling. Fozzie in 5th. You know who I said who could potentially come up through the field? Mr. Kozlowski, potentially under investigation, either him or Kart, for contact with Evil. But for now, Mr. Kozlowski around the outside of Leroy. It's almost doable. Can he get that move done? Mr. Kozlowski, definitely one of those dark horses. Dark horse. He's opened up the final corner. He gets the inside line on Leroy. Now he's got a slight distant toe. Can he get the pull? Yes, he certainly can. He's now into 5th. Mr. Kozlowski into a provisional P5. I'm just going to say provisional from now on with Mr. Kozlowski and Kart. Because so far, either one of them could be under investigation.
Yeah, indeed as well. Big Kid Daddy, I think, dropping to 3rd now as well. So I think Kaiser's got the move on Big Kid Daddy very nicely as well. And I mean, I think Kite has learnt from what happened in the second race last week. He's, I think, taking less risks at the moment. I think he's going to wait until the final few laps to go for a second. As long as he can match the pace of Big Kid Daddy and Fozzie and obviously Vetro as well, he should be fine. Obviously, Vetro's lap time, he's matching the likes of Kai, he's matching the likes of Danny as well, and obviously Mr. Kozlowski as well. They're matching the pace as well. So there's obviously, it's hard to overtake in some corners, so that is why Vetro's holding on just slightly. Big Kid Daddy's going to go for the lunge, and he's doing well. He could potentially get the win. Here comes Fozzie as well. Almost contact. We got Mr. Kozlowski again. He's going to be 4 wide, Ethan.
Kozlowski definitely putting his nose there. Well, be careful, of course. Kai's starting to fade away now. Fozzie's just into third. Is Kaiser going to wing it around the outside as Vetro's got a penalty? That's the last thing he wants, and it's 1 second. But with how close this is, that's going to demote him in nearly 3-4 positions. So he's now got a task on his hands now. He needs to pull away. He cannot afford any more mistakes now. He needs to pull the gap because he's going to end up going from first, potentially into 5th.
Yeah, that just goes to show, because the gaps are so close, even the slightest small mistake could cost you pretty much 3 or 4 positions. And Vetro has got 16 minutes to go, and it is all to play for him. I think Vetro is he didn't challenge for a little bit, but he's gone off a little bit. And here comes Fozzie and Mr. Kozlowski. I think Mr. Kozlowski goes off as well. That's Vetro up again to second. He was 4th like a second ago. Now he's up to second. And I think that's pushed Kaito as well into 4th. So I think he didn't get the best run that he wanted as well. Again, that just shows the mistakes can happen, of course. You can see Kozlowski, I think, taking too many risks and it's just not working. And he's just got to take it easy now. He can't afford to get involved in incidents now, because otherwise his position in the league could be just gone.
Well, here comes Fozzie actually, sending up the inside of Mr. Kozlowski. Left the door open now, and Fozzie was taking all of it. Ooh, a little bit of twitchiness there. I think I might be suffering from a slight bit of lag there. But Vetro's starting to drop now, unfortunately, and he's going to end up dropping into 5th. He only dropped into 3rd actually. If this carries on the way it's going, possibly he may just stay on the podium. But now Big Kid Daddy still under pressure. Vetro around the outside? Surely not. Surely not. No, he's ran himself off. Nearly out of road there. Can he get the cut back? No, not quite, but he nearly got it around the outside. Kaiser still holds onto 3rd. Big Kid Daddy now with a penalty. So now it's all...
Kaiser can win it.
Big Kid Daddy with a 2-second penalty. Now that's really going to shape everything up now. So Kaiser now in the lead, followed by Fozzie, and then Mr. Kozlowski provisionally in 3rd.
Here comes Vetro once again then. Maybe Big Kid Daddy's lead is over pretty much in turn 1. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Vetro's having the time of his life now. This could go 3 wide. Fozzie's going to stay back. Fozzie's actually going to go for a move on Big Kid Daddy. Big Kid Daddy may lose 2 positions if he's not careful, because he's got Mr. Kozlowski as well fighting too. They're all fighting just for 1 position, and that is the win. And they're going to do all they can to make sure it happens to them, of course. Kaita, out of nowhere, came from 3rd to leading. And Vetro's going to go for the move on Kaita. Slight tap, but that's allowed, obviously. And I think Vetro, is showing the pace today. A 1:52.7 for him, but the Kaita, 1:51.8. He could be the first guy into the 1:50s. Oh, no. Fozzie and Leroy. Oh, it's not Leroy.
Yeah, it was Leroy, who has lost his rear engine cover. But does he have any damage is yet to be seen. But, Fozzie, that's unfortunate. Just a little bit too eager on the power, got on the curb, and then spat right back into the middle of the circuit. Now, it is a 4-way battle for P1. Of course, 2 of the combatants with penalties, so it's literally anyone's game, and 1 driver potentially under investigation. Is Mr. Kozlowski sending up the inside of Big Kid Daddy? Has he cemented that move? Now he's looking for P2. Can he get it done? Vetro's got the inside line. Big Kid Daddy's coming back from P3 now. Or is he Big Kid Daddy with that 2-second penalty? So really he's not really fighting for P3 or 4. He's more fighting for, it looks like 5th and 6th, maybe even 7th if he's unlucky. But that's unfortunate that another driver getting caught out, it looks like, with major damage.
Yep, so I think you'll probably need to go into the pits for that. That is a shame. That is really sad as well. Essa down into 12th. He's not having a good of races either, but he hasn't picked up any damage as well, which is great to see. But I'm guessing he's just I think he's not liking the fact. I think when he qualifies higher, obviously he has better races, but obviously he started 8th in the grid because obviously he won the first race. So he was obviously back in familiar territory again, but he's still going to get some good points out of it as well. Lap 15 of this race, I do believe it's 24 laps, so if my calculations are correct, we've got, I think, 9 laps remaining of this race, and this could be nail-biting stuff if this goes on like this. I mean, I hope this doesn't end in a shunt. I hope these guys can keep it together, but we've seen the battle in the first race towards the end. That was brilliant for Messer and Big Kid Daddy, and I think Big Kid Daddy's getting in this battle too. He's right in the middle of these lot as well. Kaito's just going to hope that...
Oh, there's more contact from Mr. Kozlowski. Big Kid Daddy there. Sorry to cut over there, Jess.
Fine.
Very nearly got rotated around. Mr. Kozlowski just getting him, just wants to see him, seems he wants to touch up everybody in this race. Now he's sized in up Vectro for being number 2. And now Carton and Dan are now joining in this battle as well.
Oh my god.
So literally, this is anybody's game. This, and all it takes is just for one slight wrong tap, and anybody could be sent around. His car runs himself off the road there. Vectro holding on to P2 now for Mr. Kozlowski. Kaiser is almost definitely going to start pulling away shortly, I reckon. If he doesn't, I'd be very surprised. Just looking at the lap times, to be fair, I don't think Kaiser's going to pull away, you know, because looking at the battle. Oh, here we go.
Here comes Vectro. And Kozlowski as well. Kozlowski could potentially get P2 here. He can't take too many risks here as Vetro's gone off a little bit and they touch again on my screen. That's a shame. Kozlowski's down into 4th place. This could be Big Kid Daddy to get 3rd place. Good move from Kozlowski this time for Big Kid Daddy, and he's up to a podium position at the moment. For now, pending inquiries, of course.
Of course, yes. Big Kid Daddy looks to be sizing up. Mr. Kozlowski riding on the front end of the Formula Rookie. Oh, Kaiser actually going defensive there up front. Vectro then swings back to the outside. Oh, there goes Mr. Kozlowski up the inside. This is the perfect view. And they're touching, and they do not come to close.
Oh, Vetro's going to go for the lead. Oh, that was close.
That was insanely close. Now, Mr. Kozlowski looks like to be sending it back up the inside of Vectro. Yeah, Vectro gives them a wide berth there. Doesn't want to open up too much for Big Kid Daddy behind, and Daddy Boy's just sitting there waiting for something to kick off as his car. But literally, these guys are going to be so careful, just wrong move, and that could be it, and potentially 3-4 cars could get wiped out in the space of a couple of seconds.
Yep, they need to watch out. 9 minutes remaining and only a handful of laps to go, and anything can happen, and obviously the tow is going to help some people, and that's why Kaiser is not enjoying this at all in the lead, because he's got a ton of cars that's going to get the slipstream. So Kaiser's got to break the slipstream, because otherwise it's going to benefit more cars than him, really, because he's only got clean air in front of him. He's got dirty air behind him, so it's going to be tough for him, of course. There's cars joining in the fun too. Oh my goodness, it's pretty much 5 cars for the win here. 6 cars potentially as well. And we got Pren as well. In his own little battle. We got Leroy as well in 8th, Tom in 9th, and potentially he could have a battle with Tinnis and Essa Racing. Tinnis, I think, and Essa Racing have a battle, but the main battle is happening at the front, so we're going to watch out for him as Big Kid Daddy's going to try and go for the middle here. Vetro's going to go for the right hand side. This could be the race lead as we got Kaiser goes off a little bit as Vetro stays in the racing line. This is going to be 3 wider going in 3 abreast. Oh my goodness. Vetro's right in the middle of this. Any wrong mistake from any of these guys and it's game over. And I think Vetro is going to lose a few positions, but to be honest, he doesn't want to take that risk. He would rather be 4th place than collide with someone, and that'll be his race over. So he's done the right thing there.
He's going to send it back up the inside of Miskazowski, you know. I don't think he's letting up. No, he's certainly ain't. He's sending it right back up the inside. But Miskazowski is just going to say, well, you've gone deep. Now I'm going to have your inside. Keep it clean. Don't be getting too close to one another. The Kaiser not running away with this. Big Daddy's all up his chuff. Mr. Kozlowski and Vectro battling it out. Vectro up the inside of Mr. Kozlowski. Vectro's gone nearly deep. Now he's opened up the inside for Mr. Kozlowski. Can Vectro get the inside for the next turn? No, he cannot. Now Mr. Kozlowski into third position. Can size up Big Kid Daddy. Does he dive to the inside? No, he doesn't. He stays to the left-hand side. Opens up the final corner. Goes deep to open up the corner. Vectro's there as well. Vectro gets loose off the curbs. Oh, this is nail-biting stuff. 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go. It seems like a year probably for these guys. Now Mr. Kozlowski, a drag race down the front straight away with a toe in hand from the Kaiser. So Mr. Kozlowski now into second position, Jess.
Yeah, he's on a charge. He wants to forget about the penalties and concentrate on the race of hand, of course, because the higher you are, the less positions you're going to drop if you get a penalty. And he's going to know if he caused a collision or not. But he's probably going to, he might blame Jazzman, and Jazzman's blame Mr. Kozlowski. But obviously, the stewards may say otherwise. But we won't know until the next race, of course. So if you want to find out the results of that, check the stream next week. Oh, free wide again. This time Kozlowski going for the lead on Kaiser. This is pretty much Kaiser's to lose right now. Oh my God, Kaiser's gone off.
It is Kaiser who's gone.
Kaiser's gone off for Big Kid Daddy as well. Oh, what call? I think Kaiser's had an off. I think he struggled a bit there. That's demoted him down to 5th place.
I didn't actually catch what caused that. I was checking some of the comments, and I looked back up and I just saw a car shooting across the track. So if anybody in the chat who was watching that, if you can just let us know what happened there. But Kaiser sent shooting off there, hasn't lost touch with this group though. So
all I just saw was just like a lock up from someone, and I saw a blue car and it was Kaiser. That's all I saw on the screen. So but I don't know, obviously they'll get a better POV as well. Kaiser now has to fight from 5th place to potentially get this win. Danny's now up into 4th place. And don't forget, actually 3rd now, as he got past the Kaiser as well as Kaiser. Oh, I think he's letting the mistakes he made get to him. Vetro's now going to get 4th place now. But due to penalties, Kaiser will get 4th place. This could be Danny's first podium. And, oh my goodness, I mean, if it...
Vectro has anything to say about it though.
Here comes Vectro. Oh, I think... Oh, they touch again. Oh, they've got to be careful around it, especially with only 4 minutes remaining. And I think Kaiser's on the same part of the track as Vectro. I think he's staying behind just for good measure here, but this could be free wide once again. But I think, yeah, Vectro gets P3, still on the podium, still on the cards for Vectro. So we got the two, we got Mr. Kozlowski in 3rd, we got Kart in 2nd, so we got a TBD 1-2. They're called TBD because we don't know what they called themselves. I don't think they decided on a team name yet, or they just called themselves TBD for the fun of it. Oh!
Kaiser clipped Danny there. Oh no, that's not what you want to be doing. Has Danny got damage? I don't think he has, but Kaiser clipped. Oh my God, he has got damage as well, just from that slightest tap.
Oh no!
That's ridiculous. He got damage from that.
That is annoying for Danny boy. He was running in 5th place, and he's gonna get. And Big Kid Daddy, I think, lost it a bit as well. He's going to get 5th place back from Danny boy. Oh, that he binned it to say. Oh, he's got to move out the way. He's got to move out the way. There's cars going. Oh my God, Tinnis almost avoided that. But obviously Danny boy did the right thing and waited for everyone else to go through. He's got to stay. He's got people going through. Oh, that's a shame for Danny boy. He has to go in the pits for that, but he can still challenge for fastest lap of the race. There's a point still there, so that is an incentive for these guys to keep going. But as long as you finish, of course, you can't get a fastest lap point if you don't finish. So, yeah, that is obviously Jazzman and Evil out of the picture, but I don't think they've got fastest lap anyway. But Vectro, 151.3, he's matching Kaiser's pace at the moment. And he could still get 2nd. Has Kart got more penalties than Vectro? Can we have a look?
Let's have a look. No, that match. So if Kaiser, if Vectro wants to finish in front of Kart, he's definitely going to have to finish in front of him on track. But unfortunately, Kaiser's out of touch from Vectro. So Vectro, if he wants P2, all he needs to do is overtake Kart. That's all he needs to do, and just hold on to it for about this lap and another lap, I believe. Maybe 2 or 3 more laps to go. And it looks like Kart and Mr. Kozlowski are battling. I forgot to mention, there goes Vectro. So Kart hands the position to Vectro. Now the question is, if Mr. Kozlowski is indeed under investigation in this race for what happened with Jazzman, Vectro may be potentially in for a win.
That's insane to think now. When was the last, has Vectro won a race in the top tier yet? In AOR? When was the last time he won, if he won?
I can't recall if he has.
And maybe Evil can answer that. Maybe Evil can answer that.
Not in GT3, but it's certainly on its way because this is the penultimate lap now. Next lap will be the final lap. And if Mr. Kozlowski is indeed taken to the stewards for what happened with Jazzman on lap number 1, Vectro will be winner unless Kart manages to pull something out of the bag and upset Vectro in some way or form and snatch that win.
I think we're on the final lap as well.
This is the final lap now. Final lap.
Already. Tonight has gone so quick, and obviously we're in the sunset part of the race now, and this is it now for Vectro. He's probably not expecting this. Kart's going to go for a last-minute dive into turn 1 and 2, and keeping it clean there. Well done for Kart. I mean, I think obviously Vectro didn't want to cause too much issues. If Vectro still gets a podium, it'll still be a very good result for him, but he wants the victory, obviously. And Kaiser's still in this as well. Vectro's going to go for the lunge here.
Kaiser's within a second of Vectro, so Kaiser could potentially...
He could win it, but Kaiser could win the race.
It's all going to be down to who comes second, because like I said, if Mr. Kozlowski's under investigation, whoever's in second or potentially even third, depends on the penalties. Just going to take a quick look now. It's still a second, so Kaiser's going to jump up positions. He's going to jump up to the P2 and potentially win this if Mr. Kozlowski does pick up penalties after the conclusion of the race. But Vectro's holding on for dear life, Jess, in this final dying moments. The clock is out now. So this is definitely going to be the checkered flag when they come round to the final corners. Kaiser, he's going for on-track merit. He's going to be looking to get the position. Kart is edging his wall. They're touching wheels.
Oh my goodness!
No, they come together, and that's contact there. And Vectro is not going to be too bad.
Kaiser's going to get the run. Oh my god!
And Kaiser's run Vectro off the road, and they're bashing wheels. Oh no!
Oh no!
Kaiser into Kart.
Oh no!
Oh, no. So now this could be all thrown to arms now, this. So Mr. Kozlowski wins provisionally unless he's taken to the stewards. Vectro potentially also provisionally wins.
No, Kaiser penalty. Kaiser could win it.
Oh yes, so Kaiser now. Vectro's dropped down into P4.
He got an extra penalty. 31 seconds!
He overtook a car on track.
Oh.
That is the reason why. So Vectro is going to drop a whole bunch of positions, whether he can challenge that in the stewards. I don't know, because I think...
We didn't see what happened.
I don't know if he just thought... He did overtake a car on track, unfortunately. And I think just in the moments of the dying moments of the race, he's not really focused on that, is he? And unfortunately, the game has bitten and promoted him down to P number 10. And the Kaiser, so far, could be on for a win.
We've just had confirmation of what happened in race 2. Jazzman's not going to report for race 2, but I'm not sure about race 1 though. Race 1 is still up for debate as well, but obviously race 2, since they're not reporting the incident, Mr. Kozlowski is going to take the win. So, and who's got fastest lap? I think it is Kozlowski, unless people outside the top 10 have got it. We'll see. Nope, it is Mr. Kozlowski that gets past that point as well. So he gets maximum points today with Kaiser in second, Kart with his best finish in third, Big Kid Daddy 4th, Pren in 5th, Tinnis in 6th, Leroy in 7th, Tom with a good result in 8th, Essa still getting some decent points in 9th, but I wonder if Vetro will send his footage to the stewards, but I think it won't be enough, unfortunately. We'll have to wait and see. Fozzie 11th, Danny 12th, Schwanson 13th, Burno 14th, and our 2 retirees, Evil Dragon and Jazzman. What a race, even.
So, what a race. I tell you what, I'm not even driving, and
I'm sweaty.
That got me sweating, that. I can't imagine what the guys are feeling right now, but holy moly, another intense race. And like I say, there was a lot of unfortunate incidents in that, but you know, sometimes contact and crashes are a part of racing. But you know, it seems Mr. Gazowski, he may just get away with what happened at the start of the race, and well, we don't know who hit Evil either. Could have been Kart or him, so we'll see what happens. But I think for now, Mr. Gazowski has taken that win, and Kaiser and Kart taking the remaining spots on the podium. But wow, that was a good set of races, that.
Yep, I think these guys showing on the PS4 that these open wheels, it's a different beast, and they can go close and fight for wins and for podiums so well. And you know, this is going to be like this week. I can't wait to see what we've got next week, which we're in Sportsland Sugo next week. But I do believe race 2 is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be raining next week in race 2, but in race 1 is going to be different. Obviously, it's going to be the crack of dawn, but race 2, they've got to get their umbrellas on and their wet tyres, I've got to say. But more about that next week, of course. But yeah, who has been your driver of tonight, Ethan?
I can't even say, it's too difficult. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just getting Evil. Honestly, coming from in that second race, he came alive. It's like he almost just something clicked in that race, and he just came alive. And you know, it's hard to say whether had he not got hit, would he have stayed there? We don't know. Anything could have happened with that race, because literally anything was unfolding. But I've got to say, Evil drove his heart out of that race. He was under scrutiny for not finishing the first 2 races last week, but I think he's proved his worth in Tier 1, that he can race. Obviously, it's only one race. He's got to do it over some more races. So if he can pull off what he did today in race 2, in the races coming along next week and the week after, I think he will have proved that he is a Tier 1 driver. So I think Evil gets my mark.
Yeah, I think we were both shocked as everyone, to be honest, that Evil actually took the lead. I think we were all wanting him to do well, and it was such a shame that he retired. And it's tough to call who I would think would be driver of the day, but I would have to give it to Essa as well. Essa, he avoided the trouble in race 1, and he managed to get the win there as well. Essa there as well, and obviously Kart doing well in race 2. It's just tough to call. So I think between those 2 and Evil as well. Imagine if he didn't get contact with anyone in race 2, what it could have been with the results. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. But that is it then for the Dubai Autodrome International race for Formula Rookie then. Thank you guys so much for watching the race. It has been amazing to watch tonight. I'm sweaty, and we're only commentating. I couldn't imagine what the drivers will be thinking of right now. We'll find out more about any stewards' inquiries during the week, and we'll let you know in the stream next week as well. Thanks, Ethan, for joining me once again.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I've got to say, you can never get used to racing like that, because it's always going to be a different story. Hopefully, more to come at Sportsland Sugo. Probably going to be one of the more difficult tracks, and that rain is definitely going to spice things up. But we'll see until next week.
Yep, indeed, and we'll see you next same time, same place at 8 p.m. BST on the AOR YouTube channel. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at ApexOnRacing, and also make sure you click the like button on this video and subscribe as well. So see you next week at 8 p.m. for Sportsland Sugo for the 5th and 6th races of the season. Goodbye.